Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes. Hey, this is Mike with the Quivercasts, brought to you by quiverbuilder.com, an online community where you buy, sell, and surf for your next magic board. All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're at Mike Cottrell's sick pad at North Coast in Oceanside, on the north side of Oceanside Harbor. You don't mind me saying where it's at, right?
No, I don't care. It's just where I live. It's all good, thanks.
Is so sick. He has the sickest pad. Full-on ocean view, wave checking, and it's actually pretty good out there right now. Building swell. Got a northwest or west swell coming in right now. Still light wind for the afternoon.
Yeah, it should be good tomorrow. Today's like the start, I guess. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mike, tell us about how you started surfing. What got you into surfing?
Well, it's funny because as a little kid, I was like really into skateboarding, and then it just kind of one of those things that just evolved from skateboarding to surfing, because the 1 and 2 were together like in the 70s. So just got on a single fin style board and just started riding little whitewashes. And I had an uncle who's from here in Oceanside, and he got me surfing, and the rest is history. I stayed away from the main crowds, surfed kind of off on my own, like trying to really learn how to surf the right way and without having to deal with people or obstacles or people being in people's way or anything like that. It was really nice.
So where's this spot you're talking about? Are we looking right here?
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny. I kind of came back to my roots. Yeah, it was pretty much just right around here. Yeah.
So you're just surfing out because your family's from Oceanside for the most part.
Yeah, well, my family's from San Diego originally, and then my dad was one of the people that started Supercross, and he moved us north from there to be closer to the first race, which was in 1972. They had the Super Bowl of motocross.
Okay.
And then my family did the concessions, and it's kind of a long story, but that's how that all came about.
Sweet. So you've always been like an alternative sports kind of. Everyone loves football and baseball, but it seems like your roots are in more. Did you play mainstream sports?
I did as a kid. I really enjoyed it, and I come from a father who really, really loved mainstream sports, so it was kind of a easy trajectory for me to go. But once I got the bug of the skating, which was really early in elementary school, doing the bowl contest at the skate parks and so forth, it was kind of on from there, and then going into like surfing and so forth. So
your dad totally supported your skating and surfing?
It was hard for them because at the beginning it wasn't so much a sport for them. It was more of like just a hobby or activity. And then when my dad saw me compete at the skating contest as a kid, he kind of understood a little bit more that, wow, this is something here, and And then when I bought a car one time from surfing, and I don't know, it's kind of a long story, but
give us the short version, the nice short version. How do you get a car from surfing?
All right, so Joey Baran has this company going on in the mid-'80s. It's called Stoked USA, and he picks out a few of the team members, and he says, 3% of the earnings throughout the United States and so forth are going to be divided amongst the team members.
Wow.
And at the end of the year, they handed me a big check, and I bought myself I think it was like a little Nissan, a Datsun or something.
Yeah. What year was this?
I think it was like 84-ish.
So it was Joey Baran. Let me get this straight. Joey Baran's brand.
It wasn't his brand. He was riding for the company.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So he was like the head guy.
He was the head team master. He had already won the Pipeline Masters, and he was our coach, basically.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
And no better coach than Joey Baran.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. He's still my pal, and we still kind of communicate in our own little way. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then Joey Baran, for me, like one of my idols. Like surfing wise, that guy, you're always looking at pictures, especially in the early '80s. through the 80s. Dudes
Oh,
all
yeah.
drove around.
Oh, yeah.
So you're back to your dad. So, but he did. You were doing skate competitions, surf competitions, both, or just one or the other?
Both. I was
Okay.
doing both. Uh-huh.
And were you doing it for the love of it, or you just felt like you needed to do it?
You know, at that time, it was the evolution of those times. It was like you were doing, how you were doing were based off of your results.
Okay.
In that time, it wasn't like your photographs, your followers, it had nothing to do with that back then. So if you got good results, you would pick up decent sponsors, and you would go on to the next contest. So
skating versus surfing in sponsorship wise, do they kind of mix, or were they two separate entities?
two totally separate things, because
Okay.
it's two definitely different activities for me. But
So they would do like, I don't know, like the Vision Streetwear. They were totally advertising in surf magazines
sure.
in the 80s.
Mhm.
But even though their clients were the skaters.
Well, I had kind of like a dual sponsorship thing going on back then, because Donald Cassell, who owned Donald and Michael Cassell owned a Bronze Age, and then Donald owned Grind King.
Okay.
So I had kind of like a dual thing going on with both of them. Those are guys in Venice Beach, and it was pretty cool. They set me up pretty good back in the day, and it was nice. I had a way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what's the difference between the skating and surfing worlds? Besides the obvious. One's on, of course, one's on land, one's in the water. Friend wise, just a little.
The
insight.
vibe of the good skate sessions is really good. It's almost like the vibe of a real good surf session when you're on a trip and you're surfing a reef and you're all on your
With your
own.
buddies, you mean?
Yeah, it's there's a little bit more camaraderie in the skate world.
Okay. They're not threat by you. Or
Nah.
vice versa.
No, and everybody's usually pretty cool in the skate world. The bowl riders, it's kind of a crazy in-your-face sport activity, art, and
Okay.
surfing is as well. If you're free surfing and you're just having a great time with your
Right.
friends, and in waves of consequence too. It's nice.
Yeah, in ways of consequence, I'm hoping everyone out there's looking out for each other, right?
Absolutely.
Because you don't need some jerk out there.
Yeah.
If you're in trouble, you want to be able to, know you have someone to help you out.
I've kind of tended in my life to like shy away from like the jerk spots. So the spots that like hold a big crowd, and it's not really are the spots that I really tend to go to.
So in Hawaii, where does that lead you?
It leads me to early mornings at the
Okay.
popular spots, or like the off the beaten track spots. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not necessarily. I mean, you'll go out a pipe, right? But you're not. That's not your go-to spot.
No. There was
You
a
don't have to
time
say
there for a
names.
while there, but like, yeah, I like the out of the way spots, and that's a spot you got to be kind of ready to go and certain boards and so forth for. So
Yeah, because the crowd can be pretty heavy.
yeah, but you could be the test dummy early in the morning.
And the winds, though, sometimes the winds are better in the afternoon, kind of like here in the summer. You get
Mid-morning.
that
Yeah.
ugly morning ugliness.
Sure.
Okay. So, when you were growing up surfing, where was your favorite spot? Like, where would you go to? Like, if you were like going on a trip with your buddies, like, you check. Did you ever used to call 976 Surf? Just a side note. to see where
did.
you're going.
Well, here's a funny story. When I was a little kid and I was in elementary school, I had a surfer magazine.
Okay.
And I ran up my mom's phone bill.
Oh yeah, we all
Okay.
did that.
But I didn't
So
know I
funny.
was calling Pensacola, Florida. I was like that young. So I called, and I was kind of wondering why the waves were so small all the time.
You lived in Florida before.
Yeah, I was getting the Pensacola, Florida. But
So funny.
yeah.
Oh yeah, was there numbers? I can't remember, but there was like push 3 if you want Ventura or something like that, right?
Yes,
Oh
yeah.
my God, that's
So I was kind of like, I
funny.
tried to do that, but I was on the wrong page, and then it got down to like traveling and going into more of like buoy reports and so forth.
Oh, you learned that early, at a young age.
Well, yeah, that's all they had.
Before, yeah. So yeah, I remember 976. Well, before 976 Surf, it would just show up for me personally. It would show up at the beaches, and what you had is what you had, or you drove around and kind of made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was like Seal Beach and Surfside or Sunset, and then maybe Bolsa, and then Cliffs and Huntington. And Huntington was
We've all
always-
done the circle jerk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've all started here, gone there, been here, go back there, and then you end up back here and it's windy. Yeah,
Okay, yes.
we've all done the circle jerk. So
Especially when you got like 5 or 6 guys in the car, and you're all arguing. Everyone wants something a little different.
yeah,
Like some want crappier waves and less crowd, And the other guy wants the peaky 56th Street and doesn't care about the crowd?
Yeah, I just kind of try to keep it even keel with the people I surf with. Make sure they're on the same page as me so we can all just agree on a spot
smart.
and kind of go.
Yeah. And now does that work at their age today? Or are you just like, I'm out there, come on, join me?
It's actually more now because where I'm at right now with traveling to go surf the waves I want to surf, not too many friends my age are wanting to surf the waves that I want to surf. You know?
I know that.
So, you got to be selective, and you got to be careful too, because it's not,
Oh, the waves you're talking about, the bigger waves.
Yeah, a little bit bigger stuff, like sometimes a little bit in like the La Jolla Reefs and places like that. You got to be careful, and you don't want to bring everybody with you either, and you just want to be mellow about it and go catch your waves and get out of town.
So we won't say anything at the breaks, but is there like a local vibe at these breaks you're surfing? Like let's say La Jolla, leave it general. Or do they know you and it's all good, and you're rolling with like by yourself?
I would like to say I've kind of earned my stripes over the last 20 or 30 years by just paddling out, keeping to myself, always sharing, never getting in people's way, and just being kind of nice in the water. It's paid off, and it's funny that you say that, Mike. It's with surfing. Surfing's been so good to me in my life that to go out and act like a jerk over somebody doing something dumb it's kind of useless. At this point. You got to be fortunate and for what God's given you and provided you the opportunity with. I feel real grateful. So, yeah.
With that being said, and where you live, and you're really blessed living here. This is awesome.
There's a set right now. Look at that one.
Full on set right there.
Yeah, maybe that swell's showing up.
Yeah, it's looking good out there actually. Do you, when you're going out in the bigger surf, are you, or even out local, are you training or anything? Or are you just surfing your training?
Yeah, it's pretty much surfing is. And I used to be skating. I like to still ride bowls from time to time. It helps with my cardio strength. But lately I haven't been skating as much as I have been in the past. And when the waves are good, I kind of, did you see the whale spout? Straight out. Anyhow.
I'll look for it. I didn't see it.
The whale right there.
Between the two palms, right?
Yeah.
The two major palms?
Yeah. I forgot what you said. What'd you say?
You said you skate, but not as much.
Yeah. Just more surfing is more surfing activity for me. Try to do a little swimming in the pool, holding my breath in the
laps?
pool. Not rigorously, but enough to keep myself going, and then try to control my heart rate and try not to panic situations.
So, charging the big waves. This is all this. Even though you're not a full on, Mark Healy kind of guy, you're doing enough so you're confident in the water.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Have you gotten yourself in any sticky situations where you're like, oh boy, what I get it? It's bigger than I thought, or it's heavier than I thought.
Yeah.
Recently, in the last few years, let's say.
Yeah, definitely.
And what's your mental state on that? How are you getting yourself? Are you just going for it and charging the wave? Are you kind of tippy-toeing around and watching what you're doing?
Well, just about a couple weeks ago, I was on one of the outer islands of Hawaii, and there was a big swell, and I went out with my buddy who rides big waves, and we're out there by ourselves, and he breaks his leash, and here I am by myself, so it's kind of like, okay, calm down, think about what you're going to do. I was about done at that point, so just a matter of getting in, and having a game plan for me has always been a good way to be.
Smart.
Yeah, before I go out, if my leash breaks, where do I go, and where's my board going to go, and where do I end up? Where do I crawl up the reef, or where do I crawl up the rocks, or what have you? So yeah.
And do you have a conversation with your buddy you're paddling out with, or do you guys just know each other well enough to know you're looking out for each other?
We've all had that conversation before the surf, and if we go to the same spot, it's kind of like the same rules apply to that spot usually, or if it's some I don't know, like a bigger day, we'll go and we'll talk about it, and we'll go out there, or we'll pull the plug. We'll pull the plug on the session and say no, it's okay. I just saw it again.
Wow. I'm looking out there. Is it to the left now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk boards. What boards are you guys riding, or what are you riding out there on the bigger days and the smaller days?
Ride everything from a 5'11", kind of a thick flatty, not a fish.
Shaped by who?
I ride Mauricio Avila's boards, and I ride Town and Country by Mike Estrada.
Okay.
So both those boards are real good for me, and both the guys are great guys, and I've enjoyed their boards over many years.
So you've worked with these guys for over the years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would consider them friends and, family friends.
Are you guys experimenting? Or are you sticking with the same relatively the same shape?
Yeah, relatively the same shape, but trying to maybe like one board will be a little bit thinner, one will be a little thicker, what have you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, none of the rockers are messing with like a nose width or tail width? Or is it basically all your boards are kind of same dimensions?
Kind of the same, yeah. Kind of basic. I'm not really like
Are these hand shaped or are they going through the machine?
I think they're machine shaped.
Okay.
With kind of like a little
Well,
bit of
they
hand
finish
love,
it, yeah.
a little bit of hand love thrown in. Yeah.
That's how I think they finish the rails a lot of times.
Okay.
And that's how they do it. Okay. And then Mike Estrada, the guy's from Newport, or okay.
Yeah, he's an old family friend, and we used to compete in the NSSA together, and he's just an all-around good guy, and I'm friends with him and his brothers and his family, and he's got a brother, Seth Elmer, who's a really good surfer, originally from the Solana Beach area, but now he lives up in Hawaii, and Mike lives in Newport. Dave lives around here. So, yeah.
And what about skateboards? Have they changed over the years? Are you the same kind of deck?
Well, they've changed, but I haven't really changed.
So has your boards changed? Are you riding the...
Going with a little bit bigger deck than I used to, but I'm just riding like basically bigger bowls, like 10-foot bowls.
Wow.
Made by Skaterbuilt. Dave Hagstrom at Skaterbuilt's been a real good friend over the years, and he's provided me with a lot of boards and a lot of care and a lot of love, and I really appreciate you, Dave. Love you, man.
There you go, Dave. I went to high school with Dave.
Okay.
It's a long
Yeah, he's
long
a good
time
surfer.
ago.
He lives out in the Seal Beach area, and he loves to skate and he loves to surf, and he's just all around good guy, good father.
Yeah.
Top notch.
So living in Oceanside, you have the best of both worlds. You got how many skate parks? 4 here or 3 here in Oceanside? You got plenty of different waves to surf. I know you surf in front. So, yeah, I mean, I seem to tend to go south, though, a little bit. I probably shouldn't say that on this, but whatever.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's fine.
The harbor is a little bit kind of chaotic in the summer. Even though the waves are better up here, I don't know.
Well, I don't really surf the harbor either. I kind of surf off to the side.
Yeah, well, you can walk from your house, but yeah.
Yeah.
As a general couple miles back Oceanside guy, I stay away from the harbor. Just a little side note.
Okay.
And then, what was the board you had? Your first board? You said it was a single fin. Do you remember who shaped it?
It was a Robert August single fin.
Sick. Did you remember who bought it or how you got it?
Probably got it from my brother-in-law.
Okay.
Who married my sister at a young age and just got me into surfing. I mean, he used to actually take me when Salt Creek was all dirt, and you'd walk down the dirt, and I would boogie board, and he would surf. And,
so that was like the first boogie boards. Like the 126 or 120 or 136 or something like that.
The ones that just shred your stomach.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I kind of got into it. I used to bodyboard the wedge. My dad used to take me there, and
really,
I think that's where my thirst for like a little bit more juicier waves came about. My father used to take me to the wedge on all the swells. It was really nice.
Now, was he sitting on the beach, or was he getting some fins on and going in the water with you?
No. Dad was just sitting on the beach and hanging out, and we just talk story on the way there and way back, and my dad was awesome, and my mom supported me 100% in that. It was good. Yeah.
Do you guys have beach days, like family beach days, where you guys all go down wherever, Oceanside, Huntington, or wherever?
No, not really. We just kind of
no picnics and
not really. Just days. More like drop Mike off because he's going to be in the water all day.
Okay.
Let's wave him in, even though he won't look at us. He tends to stay out forever, kind of thing. So.
Oh, so what was the love? What was the drive for you? You said skating came first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like a natural progression to go to surfing.
Sure.
But in the skate world, how many guys are really surfing? Especially nowadays.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I have a little crew that I surf with out here, and a lot of them are all like heavy duty old pro skaters.
Okay.
And
any names you want to say?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. I surf a lot with Aaron Orstoga. I surf a lot with Sergi Ventura and Buster Halterman, and My friend Tony Ox, who's a great skater. My friend Sean Price, who I grew up with, who I just love to death.
Now, these all local guys, or are they from all over Southern California?
They're local guys around here.
Okay.
And just growing up and seeing those guys skating and then seeing them surf now, they don't take it too serious, but they just love to be in the water.
Okay. Now, were they Groms too surfing, or they kept surfing later on in life?
I think they caught the bug more later on in life because they
Okay.
were like establishing their careers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were aiming toward being a pro skater, kind of, or working in life, real life.
No, they were pro skaters.
Yeah.
They were getting paid to
So
do
that's
that.
that's where they were, and the surfing was just kind of a hobby, kind of a side note.
Yeah, and depending on where they're from, like I think Buster was from like Baltimore, and Sergio's from
Really?
Virginia, and and then I like to surf sometimes with Hegstrom. He's a great surfing skater guy.
Yeah, he surfs.
I used to surf and skate a lot with Christian Fletcher, who I still kind of am in contact. What's up, Christian? How you doing? And then just a lot of the guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think Christian Fletcher was probably a surfer first. I could be wrong. I don't know, and I don't know the guy. I've seen him out a couple times, and then skating maybe came later.
Mm-hmm.
But he was trying to. I don't know how he described it, but I remember back in the day, his description was like surfing was kind of stale, and he was, I don't know, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but he was bringing the skating world to the surf, which nowadays it's there.
Well, I remember going surfing with him and Ray Bones Rodriguez in like the early '80s, and we were doing like floater 360s one day.
Okay.
We were just trying to whip them around real quick. But we weren't really doing floater 360s. We were doing alley-oop 50-50 grinds.
Wow. Okay.
And in our world, that was what the trick was. It was an
Okay.
alley-oop 50-50 grind, and it just made you do like a little 360 maneuver and stuff.
So today's surfing, the airs and all that, and the air reverses and so on and so forth. That's it's stolen from skating. Do you think that, or I don't know? That's my statement.
Well, I don't know if it's stolen from skating. I know a lot of the names of the tricks are, and it's great to see the evolution of
evolution. That's the word.
It's great to see the evolution of surfing. How tech the guys are. It's really neat to watch everybody link it together.
Yeah.
It's nice to see somebody who links it together that's really good. Okay. Like I've been out there with Clay Marzo before.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely unbelievable to watch.
Yes.
But then I've seen some people before where they're flipping and they're airing, and it's like it's not appealing to me personally. So
eye appeal, it's not there. Are you saying it's not pretty?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
It's not pretty in a lot of cases, but in some cases it's beautiful.
So some of these guys that surf and are doing this, have you ever seen them skate, or do they even skate?
I think a lot of them are more surfers.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I saw a video. I don't want to say the name, but like a world champ, and they put him on a skateboard, and the dude could not even ride the skateboard.
Well, it's two totally different things.
It is, but I mean, for me, skating was skating to the liquor store or skating to the beach. Mm-hmm. My bike broke down. I couldn't ride my bike. But it was never like full on half pipe.
Well, it's rare that you're going to see the guy that goes and pulls into a 5-footer at off the wall, and then goes up to the Bonsai skate park and does an eggplant.
Was that John? Possibly though.
Yeah, no, yeah, but like I mean that's
not the everyday guy.
That's a true surf and a true skate. It's hard to find both.
Okay. So where do you think John? Well, I don't know. I could put you on the spot on that one. But John rips the skating.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
He might not even remember it, but I actually showed him his first drop-in at Cholo's pool. I'll never forget the day. We were skating because Quicksilver was holding this big party. It was right before the Pipe Masters, and I'll never forget. John was there with his younger brother, and his brother was tail dropping the pool, and he wanted to do it, and he asked me, "Hey, how do you do it?" And I says, "Listen, I'll show you, but don't tell Garth." Garth was his team manager back then for O'Neill.
All right.
I'm going to show you, but just don't tell Garth. And I remember Bob Burnquist had walked into the backyard, and John was starstruck. It was awesome, and to look back on that now and to what he's become.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat thing.
I mean, that dude's pretty much a household name, even if you don't surf.
Oh, he's awesome.
John is.
He's great. He's great.
And what age bracket was he at this? How old was he?
I would say 12.
Oh, he's just a Grom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's turned into an amazing human being. fully charging.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a good surf story. Tell us, like, was it with one of your friends? It could be a local. Just give us something good. And I know you have many, many.
Oh,
your
man.
life has revolved. Can I say? You can correct me. Your life has revolved around having surf stories. Like, you'd love to go on surf trips.
Yes.
Is that a good description of you?
Yes, absolutely.
So
early on, I traveled. Yes.
Do you live to surf or skate? Either one, or do you work and you just skate or surf once in a while? You know, it's just kind of a thing. I mean, what's your motivation in life, I guess? Is that all over the place? But
I work to live, not live to work.
Yes. Okay. Yes. The old bumper sticker.
But I do work, and I do work hard. Yeah.
But you're looking. So let's go back to the surf story. Give us a good surf story.
Okay. Let's see. Oh man, surf story.
Could be last year, last week, or 30 years ago.
All right. 30 years ago.
You can go deep.
30 years ago, I was like a maid for Mark Fu's sister, Charlene Fu. And I was working over at Backpackers near Waimea Bay.
Okay.
And it was late at night, and I was with this guy, Tracy Buell, and he was a big wave surfer from up north.
Okay.
And it was late at night, and this guy knocks on the door. It was basically a hostel back then. And lo and behold, it's Wayne Lynch. And we're like,
really?
And we're like, wow.
God.
Yeah, we're like, whoa, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, I need a place to stay. And we're like, no problem. We ended up giving him a place to stay. It was late at night. We didn't even ask anybody. Mm-hmm. We're not the boss there.
Right.
Wakes up in the morning, gets it all situated, and he goes, where's the surf at? I haven't been to the North Shore in like 8 or 10 years. And we're like, okay, we'll take you surfing in the morning. Meanwhile, we're all intrigued by him. I mean, Australian.
Yeah.
He's telling us short stories about big waves and sharks, and we're just keying on to every word Wayne Lynch is saying, you know?
And he's like a legend.
Yeah, he was just this awesome guy.
Right.
So the next day, I get in my little Maverick car with Tracy, and we take him and we go surf Alligator Rock. And at that time, I was surfing Alligator Rock all the time. It was always a few notches smaller than Sunset, but it still provided quite a punch, you know?
Okay.
And then, so we took him surfing there, and then there's also a little spot, marijuana's next to it, it's the little left. And I'll never forget it. We're out there one day, and it's probably solid 6 feet, Hawaiian style 6 feet, so the waves are really pretty big for there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And my leash breaks, and I'm like, whoa, it's a rocky shoreline, it's weird, and I'm swimming in, I kind of acting like I know what I'm doing, but I don't, and he paddles all the way in to make sure I'm okay.
Really?
And at that point in time, I thought, wow, that was pretty cool. Like, I was a huge fan of Wayne Lynch at that point, you know, like to take his time out, to take some on the head, to paddle all the way into me, to ask me if I was okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, what a guy, you know. It was nice.
And how old are you, and how old was he, do you think? So he was definitely older.
I was 17-ish.
Okay.
And he
Teenager?
was, I don't know how old he was.
I gotta say, how old is he now? Like, he's got to be in his 70s, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of a little surf story, you know.
He'd be whipping the single fin around. I remember seeing videos.
Yeah.
There's not a lot I've seen on him, but I used to watch. Did you ever watch Wave Watch by PT? He used to put a show on in Orange County. It was called Wave Watch, and I would record them all.
Well, I got a funny one. This is kind of like a.
Mike has so many great stories. We're going to have to split this up into 2 episodes. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. And new music is brought to you by Sal Pedroza. Thanks, Sal. Also brought to you by quiverbuilder.com, an online community where you buy, sell, surf for your next magic board. And I'll see you in the lineup. Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip, From the original print, you literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.